Hi, I didn't see you there. I was just eating some imaginary cake, and I was using this perfect little fork to eat it with. But I'm super hungry, and I think after this imaginary cake that I've had, I'm actually going to want even more food, but this little fork is just not going to cut it. I think I'm going to need a different one. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go get another one. Oh, thank goodness I found a bigger fork and one that's going to work a lot better because I also found some imaginary steak. So I still have two forks in front of me at my table, and I just can't put my finger on what makes them so different because they're both forks and I can eat with both of them, but they just don't look quite the same. So, in order to help me out, could you pause your video and think of why these two forks are different? Oh, do you know what? I just remembered. This fork is longer, and this one is shorter. So even though I can eat with both of them, they are not exactly the same size. I've got a longer one, and I've got a shorter one. All right, friends, so before we go and find some things in our house, I want to make sure that you know what I mean by longer and shorter. Right here, I've got a picture of two monkeys. Both are holding rope. One's got one that's a little bit bigger, and one's got one that's a little bit smaller. So the one with his eyes kind of shut right here, if you can see my mouse, he's got one that is longer. So you know already that it's bigger, but another word that we can use is longer. And the little monkey with his little and smaller rope has a shorter one. So bigger is longer and little is shorter. All right, now it's going to be your turn to pause your video and circle with your finger which caterpillar is longer. So right here, I've got two caterpillars, and I want you to pause your video and circle with your finger, just your finger on your device, which caterpillar is longer. Whoa, okay, I just found two socks, and I can't even believe it. One of them is super long. It's got really weird stuff on it. I don't know what that is. And then I have a sock over here that's honestly short. Pause your video and tell me, do you think that these two socks do the same thing? If your answer was yes, you're right. So both of these socks are going to keep my feet warm. This one may, go up a little farther, keep a little bit more of my leg warm, but they're both the same thing. They're both socks. So pause your video and see if you can remember the words I've been using so far, and see if you can tell me how these two socks are different. Okay, so hopefully the words that you found is that this sock is longer and this sock is shorter. Now, I'm honestly just amazed, and I'm going to have to go find some other things in my house that are longer and shorter than each other. All right, boys and girls, I found another thing, believe it or not. So these are my math cubes that I use for teaching, and they both do the same thing, but again, one is longer and one seems to be shorter. So pause your video right now and tell me which blocks are longer, the red or the white. Which ones are longer? Okay, hopefully you found out that the red blocks are longer, right here, and the white blocks are shorter. Do they do the same thing? Yeah. Are they different? Yeah, they've got different colors, and again, one is longer and one is shorter. All right, I bet you are super sick of sitting and listening to me talk. Now I want you to make something. So we're going to make some art with noodles. I will go ahead and pull up a picture and show you what I made. So I made a house with my noodles, and it looks like this. Now notice how some of my noodles are longer, like here up top, and some are shorter, like the ones I used for my door. So, in order to make a picture like I did, you'll have to use some noodles that are still in a box and that have not been cooked yet. Make sure you ask an adult in your house before you mess with the noodles, because we do not want to get in trouble. So, what you'll have to do to make ones with long and short noodles, which is what I think you should do, is you'll take some noodles that have not been cooked yet, like I said, and for the longer ones, you can keep them how they are if you want, but if you want to make them shorter and you want them to be the same size, you can hold them together. I've got 3 right here, and you can just pick a place to break them, and break them. Now this is where you're going to want to make sure you have an adult because we don't want to make a mess. We don't want to get in trouble. So then you can take some of your shorter ones and some of your longer ones, and I want you to make some art. There are so many things you can make with this. You can spell your name, which is super cool. You can make a house. You can make a picture. Do whatever you want, but have fun and think about what you're going to need. Are you going to need a longer one or are you going to need a shorter one? Thank you for watching and hanging out.